Hello there folks, welcome back to the Chap's Guide. My name is Ash and I am your host on this journey through men's style, self-development and personal grooming. Now on this fine early spring morning, I am minded to think of my age because I recently turned 54 years of age just a few weeks ago. And you know, when you have a birthday, it leads you to think about certain things. And it certainly made me think, is age a barrier to the way that we dress and the way that we deport ourselves when it comes to our style? Because when you reach a certain milestone, maybe mentally if not physically, you start to think that you should be acting and dressing in a certain way. And certainly as you become more mature, as I am, you know, there's no going back when it comes to age, it's all going forwards. You know, when you reach your mid-50s, as I've just done, you start to think, should I be now wearing a cardigan? Should I be now wearing my slippers all of the time? Or should I be clinging on to those youthful elements, the vibrancy of my younger years, which were so apparent as I got older? And as you get older, you start to think, should I be complying with these stereotypes of older people? And I would say, no, you don't. Absolutely not. The truth is, when you hit the half-century point, you know, age has no boundary, style has no boundary. It is the sort of person that you are and how you wish to present yourself to the world. And actually, reaching your middle point in life unleashes you maybe from the shackles of life that you've had in the corporate world in some degree. You've now reached, you know, your maturity, your character is well formed. It allows you to embrace style in a way which was perhaps not permitted to you when you were much younger. So today I've got some points which will help you think about shuffling off those rules which maybe when we think about our advancing years, we think we should comply with. Now, my number one rule is, let's embrace colour and pattern as we get older. Who says you have to dress in a conservative way just because you've reached a certain milestone in your life journey? That's not the case at all. In fact, as I said, because you've reached style maturity and you've got your own tastes, now you can embrace it and demonstrate it to the world in the way that you dress, in a perhaps more devil-may-care attitude than you've ever done in your life before. It's time to inject some vibrancy into your clothing and the way that you project. Maybe that could be something as simple as a colourful blazer. There are so many other colours than black and navy blue when it comes to, you know, the jackets that you can wear. I'm quite a fan of a sort of pink colour, to be honest. Very nice in the summer months. But there are all sorts of different coloured blazers which can inject that just element of interest into your clothing. And perhaps if the jacket is too much of a leap for you, maybe your trousers, chinos, they come in a range of different colours. All of the nice pastel colours and all the colours of the rainbow. And they can add that little bit of interest into one's outfit. If that's a bit too much, maybe just step away from the single block-coloured tie that you've been wearing and get something with a few colourful stripes. Or maybe a woven knitted tie, which is a bit more colourful in its demeanour. Or pocket squares, another great way of adding colour to the outfit. Just a little flash of colour. And don't forget lapel adornments, a boutonniere or a badge. Again, an opportunity to add a bit of colour. And pattern too. You know, you could just go down the path of having a charcoal grey herringbone tweed jacket, or you can choose something with some vibrancy, some interest, which is going to bring your outfit to life. Don't stick to conservative colours just because you've reached a certain point in your age. Okay, now my second tip is one which some people will find hard to swallow here, particularly if you're a die-hard sartorial person, but that is, mix and match your styles a little bit. You know, now we've got a bit older, we don't have to comply with the rules of the corporate world, where everybody wears a navy suit or a charcoal grey suit with a white or light blue shirt with a block single-coloured tie with black Oxford shoes. Let's step away from that now that we've got some maturity and experience under our belt. Mix and match styles. Now, it's become known as the art of sprezzatura. Sprezzatura is essentially an Italian concept in which we dress in in a way which appears to show nonchalance and a lack of interest in the rules of style. But actually, what we are doing is wearing carefully curated ensemble of clothing to show nonchalance, even though we've actually thought quite a lot about the way we're dressing. Now, the way that we can do that is by mixing and matching some styles. So, for instance, if you're a wearer of a tweed jacket, you could, instead of wearing it with, say, formal trousers, maybe, grey flannel slacks or maybe a chino, why not wear a pair of nice jeans with it? The right jeans with a tweed jacket works quite well. It can actually work quite well. You often see people wearing a sports jacket, but without wearing a dress shirt, they just wear a t-shirt underneath. Again, it seems incongruous to the intentionally well-dressed man to dress in this style, but when done well, it can work quite comfortably for you. It can look good, it can feel good. It's all about curating the right collection of clothing in the wardrobe. You can be doing things like altering your colour palette. You might be somebody who's just worn a white shirt all your life. Go for a bit of pink. Go for something a little different. It might be a very small move for you, but actually if it's something that you haven't done before, it can be your path on that journey to embracing sprezzatura and experiment, with those juxtaposed colours, mixing styles and patterns. It will add an injection of life into your wardrobe and the way that you dress and the way that others perceive you. It's not a man in his 50s turning to a cardigan. It's the opposite. It's a man in his 50s embracing style. Now, my next tip for you is to experiment with some statement accessories, because accessories are a great way to show the world that you've got a bit of character about you, you've got a bit of charisma, you've been on a life journey, and you've actually found things in your life that you enjoy, and you're embracing them in the way that you dress. Now, how can you do that? Well, maybe you've worn a white pocket square all your life in a simple presidential fold. You thought you'd been quite a dapper chap. You've been making your path up the corporate ladder and it's worked well for you. Well, now you've reached maturity, let's show people that you've got a bit of style. Instead of that white straight fold pocket square, give yourself a cascade of colourful silk. Go nuts, spend a few quid, go to Drake or somewhere like that and get a lovely pocket square, Rampley & Co. These wonderful stylised printed silk pocket squares, which can be expensive, but they are a signature piece which will make sure that you're remembered by the people who meet you. If you've worn a tie all of your life, maybe it's time to experiment. A bow tie or a cravat. Now, these things strike fear into the younger man who is afraid of looking different amongst his contemporaries. But now you're a bit older, you've got something about you, you've got the experience necessary. A bow tie, why not? I wore a bow tie last year for the first time, I have to admit, and it was a liberating experience to try something which is so sartorially, eminent. It's been around for so many years, but I'd never tried it. I found it really interesting and stylised, and my God, did it ever elicit compliments from people that I met. And the same can be said from a cravat or an ascot, depending on where you live, what you may call them. But a cravat is subtle. It's really stylish. It's been worn by the icons of men's style for generations. What a signature accessory to add to your outfit, and it costs very little at all. The same can be said for wristwatches, sunglasses. If you haven't been a watch wearer, get yourself an automatic watch. Let it be known that you're a person who appreciates time and you keep track of it using a nice wristwatch. Sunglasses, get a nice pair of acetate glass frame sunglasses with a nice bit of vibrant colour. And hats. All right, I've only really started wearing hats these last 5 years. Get away, throw those baseball caps away, and look at the old hats, a trilby, a fedora. If you want to be really stylish, a bowler hat, or maybe a Homburg. Something which is going to really make you stand out from the crowd. A signature accessory which will mark you out as a sartorial man of distinction. Now, my fourth tip is let your footwear do the talking. Because maybe you've been in the corporate world, all right? And for the last 20 years, 30 years, you've been wearing the black cap to Oxford. It's a great shoe. It's something you can wear at any time to anything. However, there's not much soul and character in a shoe like that. Now is the time where you can try something a little more interesting. Now, if you're on the more conservative end of the scale, just switch up the colour, all right? Get rid of those black cap to Oxford and go for something in a burgundy or an oxblood. It adds an injection of colour without really stepping outside the acceptable norms. You could even go for one of the browns with maybe a burnished toe cap, something with interest, which reflects your personality. Brown is a great colour to go to after black because there are umpteen different shades of brown, and you can control those shades of brown by the way that you maintain the shoe by applying the polish and so on. Now, if that's not enough panache for you, let's step into something a little more different. Let's try maybe a full wingtip. There you've got texture and pattern as well as the colour. And if you want to take that a step further, you can go into maybe a wingtip shoe which has got a contrasting material vamp. So many have tweed vamps or different material vamps which add very much character to the footwear and makes the footwear more than ever the signature item in your outfit. And if you want to really go nuts in the right situation, you can go for something like a correspondent shoe, which will have different coloured leathers in the shoe, traditionally black or brown and white. These really shine out from your footwear, and they really make them this amazing star of the show of your outfit, very surely. What I would say, as one reaches a certain age and we're disavowing ourselves of the rules of style as we reach 50, don't think that just means putting white leather sneakers with everything that you wear. Throwing the shoes away and putting sneakers with your suit or your sports jacket. That is a little bit too far. It smacks of an old man trying to look young. There are times and places for white leather sneakers, but they are not for pairing with formal attire. So that is my limit to that point. That's the caveat that I put on, letting your footwear do the talking. White leather sneakers have their place, but certainly embrace the more traditional shoe and the more interesting element of the traditional shoes to your outfit. Now, my final tip for you as you reach your 50s or your middle years, and we're thinking about breaking the rules, and that is quality counts, all right? As we reach this age in life, we've led a bit of a life, all right? We've known many challenges. You probably have faced death a few times. People you know will have passed before you, and you might have even faced it yourself. I know I have. And at this point, you start to realise that saving money isn't everything, all right? Quality actually counts in the way that we think about furnishing our wardrobe. No longer do I go out and seek out the cheapest of everything. The synthetic materials and the lower quality items. At this stage in life, with a little bit of stability financially under the belt, hopefully, having worked all these years, it's time to start thinking about the things that we are entering into our wardrobe and where they come from, the quality behind them. As a younger man, I followed the conventional routes. I just bought what I could afford and often used to buy foreign-made things which were not of the best quality, and they didn't last very long. And I used to have to buy a new pair of shoes every year because the shoes I bought were of poor materials and poorly constructed. At this stage in life, I now realise, even though it's somewhat uncomfortable sometimes, that spending more money on an item actually saves money in the long run. Because the pair of shoes I buy today, I can own for 20 years because they're better made, better materials. They can be repaired when necessary. So that's one of the things I've learned. And a kind of, is it a style rule? Not really. I just acknowledge now that the more money I spend on my wardrobe, actually pays me back in the long run. And sometimes the things I'm buying at this age now, I realise I'll be passing them on to the next generation. I'm lucky I've got a son, right? So at some point he can wear the clothes that I'm buying today if I invest wisely. And the things I buy are cross-generational in their longevity. So it's hardly a style rule that I'm breaking there, but it's just a different mindset of thinking about the things that we're buying. We're not just buying for fiscal sort of policy right now. We're not just buying because our wallet's a bit tight at the moment. If we think in advance and save up and buy a better item, it's going to outlast us at this stage in life. Good way of thinking about it, even though it's not really a rule. So there we go. Do not think of midlife as this time where we're settling back in a comfortable chair and putting our slippers on and dressing in the sort of way that old men have always done. Absolutely not. It is a release. We are no longer necessary for us to conform to the expectation of society anymore. Colour is now a friend and something we can use. Signature pieces like bow ties and cravats, now is our moment to wear them. Same goes for lovely shoes with interesting features and dress hats and things like that. And the ties with more pattern and colour. Now's the time to enjoy the clothing journey. So, if you've enjoyed today's video, give it a thumbs up. If you want to see more, subscribe. If you want to support the channel, leave me a comment. Drop me a question in the comment section or via an email. And if you'd like to practically support the channel, you could buy me a coffee or even become a patron. My patrons get additional video content. We often meet up and have sort of live events, tours of shoe factories and things like that. And you can get involved with that. You'll find the links in the show notes below. So until the next time, take care. And I will see you again very soon.